Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Level Grinding. It is Drew once again here with my co-host Robin. How we doing today, buddy?
Doing fantastic, man.
He's a fucking liar. He's sleepy as shit, and I get it.
We're
We're
still
recording
fantastic.
at like
Have you met
2:30 in the
me?
morning. It's fine. No, I have. It's fine.
3 in the morning and we're in the dome. It's so tired. I just want a snack.
We're definitely not in a warehouse in LA. Oh man. All right. So we're going to kick off with a little bit of gaming news. We got, I think, like right after we finished recording the other episode. It was like the next day or maybe a couple hours later. PlayStation has leaked their games for the upcoming month for the PlayStation Plus Premium. Now let me get the full list up here. Me and Robin here are excited about a couple entries in particular. It'll be for March, I guess, technically.
No, it'll be, it's just the extra games for 2020 for February, because always the last 2 weeks or last week they release.
All right. Yep, I got it up here. So we'll go through the ones we're not so excited about, although we're excited. So Horizon Forbidden West, and I already bought that one. I enjoy it a lot. It's a really good game. It's the follow-up to Horizon Zero Dawn. Whew, I mean, that was also a great game. I loved it. I like the fresh take that those games take on the post-apocalypse. Like we apocalypsed so hard that it all started again, and now we're fighting mechanical deer. I love those.
This is hundreds of years post-apocalypse.
Yeah, like way post-apocalypse. We're not
this
like
game
20 years out. Fallout. I'm just playing. Fallout's like 200, but it's way further out than most other apocalypse games take place. And I absolutely love it.
With Forbidden West coming free to the PS Plus, that gives you a chance to get it and get it beat before April 19th when Burning Shores, which is the next expansion, releases.
Oh, yeah. Man, I hope I bought a season pass when I bought Forbidden West. Probably. I get the deluxe edition of fucking everything, so there's no reason.
Weirdly, I don't think the deluxe edition came with a season pass. It was like the art book and soundtrack.
Probably. I don't know. It's not like I won't buy it. So now that we've got money coming in again into the household.
Next up is another quality game from last year, one that Drew is finally getting the chance to give a chance, which is The Quarry, which it's an 80s inspired horror game where your decisions can lead to a gang of summer camp counselors either surviving the night from hell or dying.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Not because I like horror games, because I classically don't, but those of us who listened to the last episode will realize that I am a big gushy fan of all things Dimension 20. Two of the main casts are played by Emily Axford and Brian Murphy, who are in...
Hold on, let me fix this. Two people who are doing a podcast in the game, not main cast at all.
Oh, they're not main cast at all? I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
It's a podcast you can listen to.
Oh, I will never not. Let's be very clear.
Just wanted to correct that because I don't want to
build
up your hype.
Single episode. I mean, that's fine. That just means that I can have Emily and Murph in my ear for every single moment that I'm playing the game. That's all I care about more than anything. But yeah, I will do anything that anybody in the Dimension 20 team is a part of. So 100% on board to try it out and see how I feel. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to check it out and try it. I bought it for somebody as a gift when it first came out, when I was working my good job, and they were really excited about it. So I finally get my chance to jump in there and see what it's all about. And then speaking of horror games, our fans of this series that have not had money up until now will be very excited. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is also coming out for the PlayStation Plus this month. This is the game before Village, yes?
Yes.
Okay. After Resident Evil 6, I kind of just lost track. I really like
the next two.
I really like 4, 5, and 6, but I checked out after they were like, we're going to go back to the horror survival. We're moving away from that third-person shooter. And I was like, oh, that's the only thing I liked about Resident Evil. Shit. Greatly disliked the first 3 for controls. I played Village a little bit, didn't dislike it, so that's a good sign. So I'll probably jump in here and play Resident Evil 7 all the way through. I think we own it, so I didn't even need to wait for this.
We own the deluxe edition.
Fantastic. So at some point when I run out of other things to play, I'll jump in there and play through 7 and then Village.
Speaking of 7s, Tekken 7 and Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown are also coming this month.
Ooh, Fighty Flyers, the Fighty Flyers. Tekken, you're old faithful, baby. You've been Tekken since Tekken. Some things never change, and I appreciate that about you, I guess. I had yet to play a flying simulator, so I can't really comment on Ace Combat.
Ace Combat's not a flight simulator.
What is it?
It's a flight combat game. It's important you know that there are flight simulators where you just fly in, and that they're really popular for some reason, just like the train ones. I don't understand the
I don't
popularity.
understand. I'll be honest. I don't understand any of the simulators, but also a flying combat game. You do in fact just fly a plane, so you just fly a plane with guns.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot of missions and fighting. These ones you just get in a plane and go.
That's
the big difference.
That's so sad. Like, if you enjoy flight simulators, I'm not trying to attack you. I promise.
I am a little.
That's like people who watch Let's Plays. I don't understand you. Like, I'm glad that you found the thing that makes you happy, but I don't get it. I don't get it. That's why it was always hard for me to stream when we were doing our streams on Twitch. Because, like, I like to play the game, but I don't understand why I would have people in there watching me do that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I like to interact, and it's building a community.
Yeah, but that streaming maybe is different. But I also like know people who like just watch Let's Plays on YouTube. They're not like interacting; they're just watching the video. And I'm like, just play the game. Just play the game. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm glad that some people like it, and I'm glad they found that thing for them. That's fantastic.
And we have Borderlands 3 and Scarlet Nexus coming out, and Earth Defense Force 5, which I'm really looking forward to getting to play finally, as well as 2 games that I'm pretty sure you've already played, I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere.
I have owned I Am Setsuna since launch.
But you played it, right?
Oh my god, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You cannot, under any circumstances, refer to a game at any point as a spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger and not have me fucking beat the whole thing. It's not possible.
In addition, Outriders, Oninaki, and The Forgotten City are coming to PS5 and 4. And for people with premium, Destroy All Humans 2020 remake is out.
Yep. And then in the classics catalog, we'll get to those 2 in a second, because that's what we're excited to gush about. I can gush about one of them. I haven't played
the greatest game of all time. Harvest Moon.
Harvest Moon, back to nature, baby. Woo! Oh, if you thought
I love how you were telling me to calm, and I'm like,
Harvest Moon from PlayStation 1 Back to Nature is on the classics catalog. Enjoy that. I've never been a big Harvest Moon, any of the, like, I don't want to play life simulators because I already have to live in this world. Why would I want to boot up a game where I have to live in this world again? So I'm super glad that the people who do enjoy farming on digital formats will have that experience again. That's fantastic.
I'll cover the next one, and I'll let you.
Yep, I'm gonna. I go the longest, so go crazy.
The next one that's incredibly good game that finally will be able to be played naturally, like not a ROM or anything, by people in Europe. Wild Arms 2. This will be its European debut. This is an Old West steampunk anime crossover JRPG.
I do have to play the first one now, though.
I mean, you can play the first one.
I know. I said now I have to. I've been putting it off.
Oh no, I was saying that's an option, not like you have to.
No, I'm saying that I have to. Like, the reason I didn't, right, is because on PlayStation they have Wild Arms and Wild Arms 3, and they have not had Wild Arms 2. And I'm a sequential player. Like, I start at the beginning and then I play through. And I'm like, I can't play 3 if I can't play 2. But now the 2 is going to be up there. I can play all 3 of them.
Do you say that? But I'm certain you've never played Arena or Daggerfall. You might have played Morrowind.
No, I played Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Before we get to Drew's crowning achievement, on the same day as all the games that we said, like the game he's just going to win. I didn't mean achievement, but the following games are going to be leaving the service.
Ew.
These are Metro Exodus, Saints Row the Third Remastered, GTA Vice City the Definitive Edition, Pure Farming 2018, Sparkle Unleashed, Agatha Christie the ABC Murders, The Turing Test, The Book of Unwritten Tales 2, Skydrift Infinity, Rad Rogers, Sign Mora EX, and Whispering Willows. Who's heard of one of those? Oh, GTA.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, and Saints Row, but like none of those are the types of games we typically speak on.
That is accurate. That's accurate.
Now do your thing.
Alrighty. So I'm trying to find real fast the last time this game was an option to play. Try to find the PS3 release date. It was on the PlayStation 3 store. And I can't find the release date, but I will suffice it to say the closest article I can find is 2012. So for the first time since in at least 10 years, probably more, I'd say accurately since the launch of the PlayStation 4, one of the most acclaimed, beloved, legendary JRPGs in the history of the PlayStation brand is finally playable again. All of these games that we talked about go into effect February 21st, including The Legend of Dragoon. This game, does it have its flaws? Sure, absolutely it does. Do I know anybody who played Legend of Dragoon and was like, it's not that great? Not a single one. I don't know anybody who likes RPGs that play Legend of Dragoon that does not absolutely rave about how great this game is. Its story it's campy, it's ridiculous, it is goof the names. Sometimes naming on things leaves a little bit to be desired sometimes. One of the core antagonists is just called the Black Monster. But at the end of the day, Legend of Dragoon is one of the most legendary JRPGs that has ever touched a console. If you like Power Rangers, you'll like Legend of Dragoon. If you like Mystic Knights of Tyranno, you'll like Legend of Dragoon. There's color-coded transformation warriors. It's fantastic.
Is it me? And I'll show you a Black Monster.
Oh, it's funny because it's a woman. But this game is easily one of the best things that I have ever put my hands on as a gamer. It's one of those games that as a community, we've just completely been like, give us more Legend of Dragoon. Like, we've been begging for a sequel that came out in 1999, so like almost over 20 years. We were begging for a sequel, begging for a remake. If this got like the Final Fantasy VII a remake, oh my god, you hear that? That wasn't even me. That was him moaning about that. That wasn't even me. This game is so good. It has so much potential. How we never got a sequel out of this game blows my mind out of the back of my skull. It makes no sense. It's widely acclaimed. It's beloved. It's one of the longest RPG runs on like playtime, even in the 90s when we were getting 40, 50, 60, 70 hour RPGs on a regular basis. It was still one of the longest running games. It was 4 discs back on PlayStation 1. A lot of you motherfuckers listening to the sound of my voice right now don't know what a multi-disc game even is. You have no idea what I'm even talking about. Legend of Dragoon was 4 discs. We had a 4 CD bundle pack to play this game. And you had to swap them out as the story went on because you couldn't fit the whole game on 1 disc. Absolutely insane. And we took care of those cases. We took care of those CD cases like they were our kids. I took probably better care of those CD cases than I do my kids sometimes.
Love you.
I love you, Dante. I love you, Trinity. You're my favorite humans walking this planet Earth. But man, these back in the day when we had, like, if you lost disc 3, you're done, bud. That's it. There's nothing you could do about it. We didn't have download content. A hard drive on my PlayStation, I was alive when that concept became a thing. It just wasn't. We had memory cards. I remember when memory cards came out. But it's such a good game. You get just a crazy array of characters. There's one character that annoys every single person who's ever encountered her.
Nope. Don't talk about my girl like that.
Whatever.
The Winglies are my.
You're not a person. Remember, you can't identify as not a person. And then be like, no, I'm one of the people. No, motherfucker.
I'm not a human.
That's what I mean. Okay, we're not going to get into the semantical difference on that right now. Fucking Maru is mad obnoxious. Stupid. Of course you like her because she's as close to Sailor Moon as there's ever existed in an RPG, and I want to smash that bitch in the head with a hammer.
There's a Sailor Moon RPG.
Yep, I'm sure there is. And
several, in fact.
I love myself enough that I've never been exposed to that.
I don't understand your hatred of it, but
it's not. It's just the fans, man.
I'm the fans.
No, the fuck you're not. You're not the fans of Sailor Moon. I promise. There's numerous fans of Sailor Moon. It takes anytime the fans have ruined a thing for me, you have never contributed to that, and I'm gonna end up. I'm sure at this point I'll just have to say that once per episode that we record. But when the fans have ruined a thing for me, you have never contributed to that. So know that if the fans have ruined a thing for me, it is liked by enough people that they have made the toxic reaction inside of me before you had the opportunity. So yeah, no, I don't. Sailor Moon's not fun. Darian gives me rape vibes, and he never won't. There's not a way you're gonna be like, no, but and no, it's not gonna fix it. Everybody else has already tried. But yeah, Maru is just Sailor Moon again, but as the Blue Ranger. And I mean, and I use her because I'm like, I got to get everybody's stuff all the way up because that's how you play a JRPG from the 90s. So she gets her time in my squad, whether I like her or not. And like, if it was just in battle, she'd be fine. But like, sometimes she talks and like puts her voice into the universe, and holy shit. But at the same time, like my second favorite character in the game is Congo, and he's big dumb rockhead man. So like, take my opinion for what it is. Legend of Dragoon will make you want to cry. Like there's a scene in the beginning of the game. It's in the first disc. In the first disc of this game, where I do not know a dude who played this game who didn't at least want to cry when this scene happened. It's such a good game. It's so well written. It's the dialogue.
Did you know it's over 20 years old? You can just say it now. There's statute of limitations is long gone.
When Lovitz dies, I weep.
I'm like,
he's such a good dude.
Like, and I'm like, tell them. So Lovitz's death. Lovitz is one of the characters in the very beginning of the game. Lovitz's death is so impactful. He is your Wind Dragoon, and I love him so much.
If you don't know it's coming the way we didn't, first of all, if you haven't played the game yet and you hear this before you do, you're fucking welcome so that you're ready.
We braced you.
What I wouldn't have given to know that was going to come. But I started a fan novel like 3 years ago, and I know I'll never make a penny off of it because if I ever do get it published, it's going to have all kinds of, copyrightable characters within it. So I'll just have to put it up for download, and if people want to donate, that'd be dope. But the whole premise of this book was like, I didn't get enough of Lovitz. He died too soon. And I didn't get enough of Rex from Final Fantasy 12. He died too soon. And then that just had me snowballing other characters who died in games that I didn't feel like I had enough story for. And that's what I started writing my book about. That's how important.
We got too much Rex.
No, we didn't. How can you possibly hate Rex? He didn't do anything.
Exactly. He was a character who was just extraneous.
So you agree that we didn't get enough? Thank you.
No, because I'm saying that him existing since we didn't get anything of him was a waste of time.
Right. No, we agree that he didn't get enough time, right? That's what you're saying is that he didn't get enough time for you to care about him.
Yeah. So
that's the whole point.
He was a waste of my time.
It wasn't a waste of your time. It was bad writing. That's why I was going to put him in a book to give him more time. That way you would have more to go on. That way he would no longer be a victim of bad writing. I hated that Rex was only in Final Fantasy 12 for the tutorial. I hated that because, and here's my controversial Final Fantasy take. You guys ready? Rex, for the 4 minutes that you got him in the game, was infinitely more likable than Vaughn will ever be.
He just sometimes makes noises with his face that he thinks are words.
Oh, these are words. You can be as upset about it as you want to. Vaughn is the second most unlikable Final Fantasy protagonist there is. Vaughn is the only one. The first one is Terra, obviously. But Vaughn is the only character. Vaughn is the only character. And this is a compliment to Terra, right? Because I hate her worse. However, Vaughn is the only main character I can think of in Final Fantasy that, after the 10-hour mark of the story, if you just reached in and plucked him out of the fucking game, nothing would change. Everything would still happen exactly the way that it happens, except maybe some dialogue layout. You can't pluck Terra out because the team has to go save somebody in order for the plot to move forward on a couple of occasions. So Terra is required, whether she is garbage
the team
or not.
Never has to save her.
What do you mean? There's a whole tower I have to climb to go save Terra from herself.
You're not saving her. You're checking on her.
No, you're
she
not.
Flew away. You found her. You're not saving her.
Yeah, we had
she's
to go
not
find
in any
her.
danger.
Yeah, she's in a coma. She's in a magical coma. I don't know if you know how hospitals operate, but comas are like medical things.
She's not in a coma though.
She's not in a coma. She didn't sleep the whole time and then wake up after I went on a special thing to get the thing to wake her up.
You didn't go to get a thing to wake her up.
I didn't.
You went to go get something to calm her Esper powers so that she could gain mental control again.
Did she immediately wake up upon receiving the MacGuffin that I brought her?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. I brought her the thing that woke her up. I saved her. Tara's a damsel. She was in distress. Look,
She
if you
was
want to love
not-
her, if you want to love her, you can love her. That's fine. You love the soft, weaky, cutie people. That's cool. I'm not attacking you
She's the most powerful character in the game.
because she's got plot powers. Plot powers don't make you powerful. Plot powers are also bad writing. It's like Hawkeye's my favorite character because he don't get no plot powers. He's got a bow and he holds his own. That's like in Final Fantasy VI. Locke
we're
is
doing
my.
this.
No, do it.
Do you even know what a damsel is?
A
Don't
damsel?
Google it.
What do you mean? Don't Google it.
Don't Google it. I want you to right now say what you think it means. You're
I love
Googling it.
how
I can
I'm
hear you.
not Googling anything. I'm not even touching my keyboard, motherfucker. We're going to do this thing where you like feel like we're going to change the definition after I give it to you is what it's going to be.
No, it's a
The
young
quote-
unmarried woman.
Yeah, it's a young woman. What is Tara married?
No. But you
Okay,
think
so
she's a damsel in distress.
So you agree that she is a damsel?
Yeah, most of them
Yes.
are.
Cool. So we agree that she is a damsel. We agree that
Yes.
she lost her fucking mind, literally, turned into a magic.
She lost control of her powers.
You talking over me is not going to change like what we're discussing here. She went crazy, got super, turned into like some summon monster, and flew off. Now,
She's half summon monster.
if you don't define that as distress, that is certainly your choice. However, I played that game fairly recently based on yours and everybody else's insistence that I swear to God, man, it's the best Final Fantasy. And I replayed it to see if it was indeed the best Final Fantasy. And when she
Don't
flew
ever
off,
give me that voice, or I'm
if
going
she
to
flew
cut
off,
all your cables.
she flew off like that. Everybody in the game thought she was in distress. In fact, going to find her and assist her with said distress was the very next point of business for everyone except Tara. So, whether you can choose to interpret Tara's moment in that instance as in distress or not, does not change the fact that every other member of the party jumped into, gotta go save the damsel mode, which is exactly what happened. And then I had to climb a tower and fight a bunch of bad guys because they had to make sure that she was okay. That is a damsel in distress rescue. Now, you don't need to infer her state in that moment as in distress because, hindsight's 2020. After we got in there, we realized that everything was probably fine. I guess we won't know because I saved her. But up until we saved her, we assumed that this bitch was deeply in distress. We went on like a world careening mission in an airship to go find one girl. And I don't know why we would do that unless she was in distress. And I wasn't attributing that voice just to you. I was attributing that voice to everybody who has screamed down at me about Final Fantasy VI since, I don't know, 1902 or whenever this game was launched. It wasn't 1902, obviously, but I've been getting screamed at. I've been getting screamed at since my grandpa was 12 years old. That Final Fantasy VI is the best Final Fantasy. You can say her all you want to, but she is also one of those characters like after we rescue her the last time that we have to rescue her, you can also fully pluck Tara out of her story and it largely doesn't change much. It'll change a little bit here and there. It'll change more than 12 would change without Vaughn for sure. But like, I don't even have to. She's such a non-protagonist after the beginning of the game that they don't even make me keep her in the party.
Yeah, it's because there's no single protagonist of 6. 6 is a collection of protagonists. The typical ones that people see as the names are Celeste, Tara, and Locke. But
no, like
everybody except Gogo and Umaru has more development and more writing than most other Final Fantasies combined.
I mean, I will agree that they attempted more writing for those characters. Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
I would say that's too much. You go
straight from Tara disappears to we now have to go to Zozo. You have to go to Koholingen. You can get Shadow there if you want. Mm-hmm. You go to Jador because that's what starts the opera. You don't even have the airship when Tara goes missing. Like you cut
so
out.
When you go to get as soon as you get the airship, what's the first order of business?
You get the airship. First order of business is to go to
like in the storyline, not in like how.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, Vector, I think, for the first time. Not
why do you go to Vector?
Grand Banquet. You go to Vector to check on the returners who are in the Empire, and also to get in Shiva, because Rama doesn't speak to you unless you have Vector and Shiva.
Okay. I don't remember that being explained in the story. My impression of 6, right, from the moment she disappeared, and I just played through it last year upon multiple people's insistence, is everything that we do in the story after Tara leaves is, well, if we go there, maybe we'll find clues about where Tara's at. Maybe we'll find Tara. And we'll get there, and then we do whatever that story
That's
point
one
is.
character that's Locke because he's obsessed with her.
One of the 3 protagonists who drives the story forward, that guy?
Which, that's not his love interest, which everybody seems to think. Because
that's
love
not
interest is a girl who actually is in a coma.
Oh, no, I know. I have no... You can throw actually around like she wasn't sleeping that whole time. You can throw shade all you want to. But my bitch was in a magical summon coma. Fine, we'll call it whatever word makes you feel better for sleeping for days on end. Do you what is the difference to you between sleeping for several days and a coma?
Comas require a lifetime diminishing unless you're hooked up to machines and the hospital's keeping you alive. Like, she wasn't dying, she was just asleep.
Okay. So I'm gonna read you the definition of coma from, let me see, National Institute of Neurological Disorders. People in a state of coma are alive but are unable to move or be aware or respond to their surroundings. They lose their thinking abilities and retain non-cognitive function and normal sleep patterns. A person may appear fine but will not be able to speak or respond to commands. What in that does not apply to what Tara was doing in that moment?
She did speak. She mumbled. I can't remember what it was. She mumbled something to you. It's sort of like when Cloud says Xenogay foreshadows Xenogears.
I don't remember Tara having a dialogue box at all until I came back with her shiny wake-up crystal. And this
with
is
her dad's soul.
With her, it's a shiny wake-up crystal, regardless of what was inside of it. We can we can shine up however we want with that. That's fine. It doesn't. The semantics of what's in the crystal does not change that it was her shiny wake-up crystal. But I don't remember her
rip apart one of the most poorly written Final Fantasies.
Fucking rip 7 apart, bro. I don't care. People have been ripping 7 apart since I told them I liked it. Like, do you think I haven't been receiving 10 times the abuse that I give to 6 since the moment I was like, oh, I kind of like Cloud? Beating up Final Fantasy 7 fans is nothing new. We've been getting bullied since Final Fantasy 7 came out. We don't care.
No, you haven't. You guys are sadly the most widespread. You are the largest fan base.
Yeah, of course. That's why we get bullied. That's why it's fun to attack Final Fantasy 7 fans, because it's not
hitting the bully isn't bullying.
Who says we're bullying? I don't bully. I say the shit I say about other Final Fantasies in response to the shit that's been talked about mine to my face.
You're literally like, let's shit on 6 with untrue facts.
Untrue facts. That's super fun. I'm glad I used that terminology.
Fake news. There we go.
Oh, I used fake news? Cool.
No, I'm saying what you're saying is
no, it's not.
A lot of it is not true. That's correct.
That's the way. Okay, cool. So my perceptions are bullshit. Got it. Cool. That's the takeaway. Everything I have taken away from my time with that game doesn't count because it's not the truth the way you wanted to hear it. Cool. Fantastic. All right.
Now you're putting words in my mouth.
Not putting words in your mouth. I have said the whole time, go back and listen to this when I post it. I said the entire time that the way that I perceived the game, X, Y, and Z, and then you came out and said it's not true. So you've told me that the way that the game played itself out to me is not accurate, and then my perceptions are, and I'm going to quote you
genuinely
here, fake news.
And I will quote you that Vaughn is the worst with Tara close behind or something along. I can't remember the exact wording there. But then
when did I say that was a fact? I said in my opinion.
You didn't say in your opinion. That's why I thought it was a fact.
No, I said at the beginning that, in my opinion, Vaughn is the second worst protagonist in Final Fantasy history, and that's why you said who's first, and I said Tara, and you shouted "fuck you" real loud.
I didn't shout. I said "fuck you."
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't shouting.
I have prefaced everything I've ever said in the years of our argument about this, about Final Fantasy VI, that it is my opinion based on the times I've played the game. I don't know why you need me to restate that every single time that we bring up Final Fantasy VI. But I'll put a sticky note on my computer that I need to preface that and re-say it every single time.
I wasn't even going to attack 7. I was going to give us a mutual thing to attack, but you decided, like always, that you're going to become the victim.
I mean, it's more often accurate than not. But go ahead, hit me with what you edited. 8 is garbage. 8 is absolutely garbage.
And my brain just went, literally, I said 8 because, and my brain just had Final Fantasy 8 in bold.
It's a fucking trash panda, man. Boy, I hate Final Fantasy 8.
So wait, did you just call 8 a trash panda?
I did call Ada Trash Panda, and that's not fair.
We love
Raccoons.
Trash
Hang
Panda.
on, I was fixing it. That said, that's not fair because raccoons have never done anything that dirty to anyone ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they give it a human rabies, but that's not even as big of a crime as Final Fantasy VIII existing. Holy shit, is that game bad?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have picked up on this. I'm not a big fan of the damsel in distress trope. And that game is the damsel in distress trope. Beginning, middle, end. There is no part of that is not about
Game
that's not
is the damsel causes distress.
that's not true. The first 2 hours are like a real game, and then everything else is Rescue Renoa, the RPG. Fucking I hate Final Fantasy VIII so much. And when they relaunched it on PlayStation 4, I just went and platinumed it so I'd never have to look at it again until they relaunch it on something else. Oh, 8 is so bad. The story's not good. Oh man, how do I describe it? I described it to Elijah the other day as like amnesia orphans drive their school to fight future mom's space ghost. It's such a bad story. Oh, it's a cluster. Like if you like Final Fantasy VIII, then you grew up as the emo kid, and
I
you
grew up
just
as the emo kid, and I don't even like.
I don't know. You had love and compassion your whole life. You don't tell me you didn't. I know people. Fucking, if you didn't identify with the word whatever as your whole personality at a certain point, you just don't like Final Fantasy VIII. I appreciate that about you. But if you're like Final Fantasy VIII was like the best Final Fantasy, whatever was your whole personality for 3 or 4 years of your life at least. Like, oh, it's so bad. Like the best characters are still not good. Like Zell's not a good character. He's just the best.
I think Seifer's the best.
Seifer is just emo or a squall.
He's not emo. He has a mission and the thing he believes in. He is a sorceress's knight, and God, is he great.
Is it? Remember who the sorceress was, right? When he decided to have that dream. But Cypher is an Oedipus complex given a sword. That's all that shit is. He just wants to fuck his mom.
Don't make it that.
That's what it is.
Thing.
What do you mean? Don't make it that.
I know these words. I know these words are super hard for you to comprehend, but it's
here
not
we go.
a sex
Fuck
thing.
me. All right, let's fucking. We're gonna do
that
this.
was it. And I was making the joke about how you're just a giant pervert.
Yeah, everything's
like these words are hard for you to comprehend, but it's not a sex thing. He's the sorceress's knight, the romantic image.
You understand that most people take the word romance and like correlate that with relationships, yes?
He means it in the actual literary sense.
I know that you can't know that because he's not a real person. You didn't have a discussion with him after the game, and he has referred to being the sorceress's knight as a direct quote within the game as his romantic dream.
Yeah, again, romantic, not okay. As I say, not romantic. It gets really hard to explain.
Romantic as in not romance? That makes sense. Look, it's okay that Seifer has an Oedipus complex. She's not really his mom. So it's like if she gets stuck in the washer, it's okay. He can do all that stuff because it's not his real mom. That's a joke. They don't have washers. She's a magician. She'll just snap it clean.
Romance used to be a type of novel that meant prose fiction, like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, that kind of stuff. Okay. Knights, all of their stuff was referred to as romance tales.
Okay. So here's where we're going to get into another disconnect, and that's okay. That's what the whole conversation format of this show is about. Romance used to mean about when?
18th century.
Cool.
And before.
Was it 1998 when this game came out?
No, but when someone refers to a romantic ideal, they don't mean searching for love usually. It's a lofty dream.
Okay. So if the lofty dream just happens to involve somebody of the opposite sex, it's weird of us to think that means romance or like relationships. I'm trying to figure out if I'm the weird one. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Not that you're weird. What did you just leave, or did Dave give up on us?
No, Craig's still here.
Craig, I really heard a disconnect noise.
Nope, recording.
Okay. But like when someone says a romantic ideal, it usually does not have anything to do with the fact the opposite sex is there. Yes, he's saying the sorceress's knight. He wants to be the knight. He wants to be her right hand because that's his romantic thing. It's typically spontaneity and an emphasis on subjectivity and individualism, and beliefs that the imagination is superior to reason, and devotion, love and worship of nature, etc. That's romanticism. I googled that. I'm not gonna lie.
No. I'm just trying to figure out why they would use 18th century dialogue without following up with an explanation of that in any way within the confines of a game in 1998 that was going to be distributed, let's be very honest, largely to children at that time. Because let's be very honest with each other. I know, let's skip this whole it wasn't marketed to children thing before we get into that. Who was playing games in 1998? Not dudes in their 30s.
I mean, a lot of the ones I knew were. That's my Uncle Chuck. You met him. Like,
okay, but in the early, like now, games are relevant to dudes in their 30s, but that's because we've been playing them since we were 8
well, I
years
was meaning
old.
when I was a child. He was much older.
Okay. I mean, my dad showed me Mario, but he was not playing Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9 and shit. Like that's not who you marketed games to in the 90s. Games were being marketed to people in maybe 20s. Still not of the age to be like, oh, this is clearly the 17th version of romance. He definitely doesn't want to bang the sorceress who's actually also super hot. Cool.
Oh, we're gonna address who you think Adea is hot at another time.
Adea, we can address that right now. Adea was hot as shit, especially when I was a kid. When I was a kid, absolutely. I was in high school, bro. Anybody with titties who was smaller than me was gorgeous.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I was real big in high school. I was like 600 pounds in high school, so it was a admittedly low bar. But what makes you think Adea is not attractive? She landed Robin Williams, bro.
That's a fact. That's
a fact.
That's a Snapple fact.
That's straight facts. Those facts, so that's not even gay facts. Those are straight facts. If she landed Robin Williams, she's certainly capable of doing better than me. Well, like, I don't understand why it's weird that he would want a romantic relationship. Like when I was 17, and I'm not going to say we, because you've never had an age-appropriate thought of anything ever from what we've said. So if I said we at 17 were just after romantic relationships, I'm going to save you from having to be like, nah, me, I was I know that you're not in here. But Cypher was 17 years old. When I was 17 years old, if you said romance, that shit meant a relationship. That's all that meant when I was 17.
This man was reading the old romantic books about knights and that kind of stuff. Like he was basing his whole thing about it.
Yeah, knights get the girls in those stories.
Let's see. Oh, I know where our disconnect lies.
Go for
it. It's Ultimania again.
No, it's Ultimacia. That's the bad guy.
Fuck you. But Ultimania reveals that when Cypher was a child, a popular movie was released about a sorceress who defends her country and a knight who served her. The film was Cypher's favorite and inspired his dream to become a sorceress knight himself, copying the battle pose of the actor. Get ready for this.
I know it's Laguna. Yeah, Laguna Lior. Yep.
Lore.
I want to be very clear about something right now.
Yeah.
I have never, at any juncture, read any of the Ultimania books.
Yeah, we all know Laguna was an actor for a while.
Yeah, no, that was in the game.
But,
so all of the information I'm going on is how the game presented the idea, the romantic idea of the romance of the sorcerer's name.
Well, that's why I'm reading this to you. Mm-hmm. Even though Cypher had great potential to become a seed, his behavior kept making him fail the exams, and he was labeled a problem child. He developed a romantic dream about becoming a sorceress's knight and borrowed several books from the Blam Garden Library related to the subject. And he had a romantic relationship that had, well, it eventually winds up having to do with a sorceress, but she wasn't a sorceress at the time, and he didn't know she was going to become one with Renoa.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the romantic. He was reading romantic books, having a romantic dream.
Okay. Do you guys want to hear Robin die a little bit inside right now? Listen close. What's my stance on books for games?
Foolish.
That's not it.
Churlish and disrespectful.
Nope.
Yes, that is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'll be clear for everybody else in the audience right now. This does not apply if the game is based on the books. Witcher, I'm looking at you. You're fine. If you made a game as a game and then you follow it up with books, that shit is non-canon for me. If you wanted to tell that story, you should have wrote your game better. You should have made it longer. We're already playing 80 fucking hours. What's 2 more to express the idea that you're trying to get across? Put it in the game.
Keep releasing the books.
Release the books. Make your money for sure. Just don't Don't expect me to be like, no, but in the book on page 43, this happened. I'm not giving you the voice. Calm the fuck down. It's the general idea. I don't want to have to spend, as $80 in an online auction to get a Japanese book. I need a translator to explain to me. I don't want to play 80 hours of your game and then spend 60 more hours reading the books of the shit you didn't feel was pertinent to the game at the time.
What they do is Ultimania is design documents, character notes, things that are written that are then given to the writers to, hey, make this apparent in the book.
Yeah,
I mean, but
they didn't. That's my point. Is they didn't. They didn't make that apparent in the book because until I was an adult, there was not any way that they conveyed within the game that they were like, hey, he doesn't like romantically want to be with this person. It's the grander sense of romance. That was never made clear. So they didn't get that across is my issue. And in the Ultimanium, I don't so much have this feeling about, because I understand it's just a compilation of shit that was supposed to go into the game that maybe didn't. But like for my stance on books, it's mostly shit like, and as much as I love Final Fantasy VII, you're a fucking criminal for this. Is like, don't make 4 more fucking books that I have to read to get exposition stories. Just put it in the fucking game. Especially now. Now there's zero excuse.
The exposition stuff was after.
Can I finish my point?
Yeah.
Cool.
You're growing in volume more and more, so you're actually starting to cut out a lot. Cool. I can hear you from your room.
If I get to the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake's trilogy and that story point didn't make it in the game, it's just not fucking canon. At this point, there's no excuse. You're taking a game that covered 3 CD-ROMs and putting it into 3 separate Blu-ray games, each of which are going to be 40 to 60 to 80 hours a pop. If you don't have your story somewhere in these 3 fucking games at this point, it just didn't happen. There's no excuse to not have it in there now. Like, I can see the whinging about 1997. We didn't have all the stuff that we needed to. Cool. Fine. It's not 1997 anymore. It's 2023 now. Remake had more of Midgar than we got of the entire game almost. So at this point, there's no excuse. They have promised that the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII will be presented in these 3 games. Get it done. I don't need more books after this is over. If you want to tell more stories, make more games. You created Final Fantasy VII Multiverse, and I'll buy anything that comes out in them. So fucking make it happen, princess.
Some things don't need to be in a game, though.
Some things don't need to be in a book.
No, like On the Way to a Smile. It's after 7 and before Advent Children. It's literally just revisiting with Denzel a few times as geostigma begins appearing on people. It's very beautiful. Couple chapters. Like On the Way to a Smile is literally just between 7 and Advent. Okay, nothing in there something that would make a good game.
So it would be very easy. Fun. It would be very easy to include it as like maybe a playable or a watchable epilogue to the story of Final Fantasy VII before they pick up their story for Advent Children. Because they've said they're covering the entire timeline, right? So we can just plug it in there. We don't have to have that in written form now. We can watch it visually and see everything they're trying to express.
Ultimania, I wasn't aware of the existence of. Vagrant story, Ultimania.
Oh, I assume there's Ultimania for everything.
Just about. Go ahead. For Xenogears and the Xenosaga games, they had Perfect Works, and also for Front Mission 3 and Saga Frontier 2. Instead of Ultimania.
I have to play that again at some point.
It was a game.
Yeah, I get that.
I love Saga Frontier 1. Also, Saga Frontier 2 also got an Ultimania, so the Perfect Works are literally all of the concept art, the key art, all that, and the artist notes who's like, this is why this is on them. Please work it into the game. And usually that doesn't. So we're like, why the fuck did that character have like fucking ribbon in her hair that had a keychain hanging off it? And the guy who drew it was like, this keychain is important because blank. But the writers were like, nobody gives a fuck. Go draw pictures somewhere else.
Keychain is important because she has to have her keys on her, guys. God, get it together. Shit. How's she going to get in her house if she doesn't have her keys? You idiots.
made up this idea for a character just to express what these things are for.
Oh,
But like,
man.
there's a Wikipedia entry just for these called "List of Square Enix Companion Books." And someone posted a shelf at Books Kinokuniya in San Francisco of all of them together, and I was like, I want that on my library shelf.
Right. That is a library shelf. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it'll be its own library shelf. Man,
All
I
right.
apologize to our fans that we got off shouting at each
That's
other.
what they want to hear, man. Nobody
Final
wants.
Fantasy VII Remake Material Ultimania Plus Art Book.
No one is just wants to sit and listen to blase, friendly, back and forth, no drama banter. They want to be like, oh, these guys are gonna fight when this recording's over. We're not. I'm way too lazy for that.
I literally said I was gonna come in and cut all your cable.
Also, he's not. Our roommate would be very cross about having to figure out how to fix that problem.
So here's where the snag lies.
Okay.
Drew claims he will buy anything Final Fantasy VII related just to show his love for it.
As long as it's a
he's
game.
gonna keep
Absolutely.
making it. He never said that in the past. I need to make that clear.
Okay.
He, pretty much,
Look,
if anything.
Okay. Let me be fair. Let me amend this properly. I will buy anything Final Fantasy VII related as long as it is in the language that I natively speak and read.
Okay, I sent you a link to this.
At least one of those books is fully not in English anywhere.
Oh no, I can find all of them in English. We just have to afford them as the issue.
Because I know you were like, read this book, and I was like, that's French. Like I don't do French at all.
But I just sent you a link to the Material Ultimania Plus art book for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay, well, I'll spend that $40 later. I have to wait for payday. Fucking love Final Fantasy VII. I wish I hope truly one day that producers just go through their PlayStation 1 library and they're like, I wonder if we can just remake this like properly.
We're the only two who want that. Everyone else,
oh my god,
stop remaking classics. I'm like, please remake classics.
Don't
give me a new fresh take.
Yeah, give me a fresh everything. My thing, right, is like, I don't want to remake games that like were already explosively successful, right? Like as much as I love 7, if I was the owner of Square Enix, I would have prioritized 7 just because it's guaranteed money, not because I'm like, we need a fresh take on this game. But it's guaranteed. Like anything Final Fantasy 7 is guaranteed money. It's going to sell because of the name.
Okay, I'm going to read you a summary sentence that will definitely get you to understand why the Ultimanias are important and cool. In addition to CG art and illustrations of characters, enemies, locations, and more, this volume, this is just for the 7 remake, but these things are in most of them, offers a Q&A interview with Motomo Toriyama, voice acting scripts, scenario strategies, and other planning materials, all accompanied by commentary from the development staff. Full-color, jacketed hard book offers a wealth of insight into the making of one of the most beloved RPGs of all time.
Okay.
I'm like, you will get a script.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's why I like a creation kit for Fallout. It does that and those. So you can go into the game and like read the scripts and like how everybody was directed and stuff like that. Those are dope. Yeah, I don't like I was saying before, like Ultimania, that my book about the game largely doesn't apply to shit that's just explanatory. That's not the right word. Explanatory? There it is. For how it was supposed to come across the first time. Those are fine. It's what I get like whole books about shit that happens after the game or between the games. Like you have to read this or like no, it like explains in like the 3rd book in chapter 14, like why this opinion you had about this game that was like formative to your life and views is fucking fully wrong, bro. That's the shit that pisses me off. That's the shit I don't like. Like if they wanted me to interpret it that way, they should have just fucking fixed it in the game before they put it out.
The English version for the 7 Ultimania, not the remake, but the original version, is because they were translating it and wanted to, not have to release 3 different ones, is 7, 8, and 9. So instead of 3 100-page books, it's 1 300-page book.
It's fine.
So there's one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one for 7, 8, 9, one for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then official works for 15.
I want an Ultimania for 15 for them to fucking explain to me. Someone needs to be held accountable for me not getting episode Luna Freya. I need to find out whose decision that was, and they need to be properly drawn and quartered for robbing me. I would have taken episode Lunafray out long before I would have preferred episode Arlen or whatever the fuck his name was.
Arlen?
That one. Yeah, episode bad guy. She was more important than episode bad guy, but I got episode bad guy. And the prize for completing episode bad guy was the dumbest of all of the prizes that you get for completing any of the follow-up episodes. I hated it the most.
I didn't complete it because
you get as close.
I was like, because you brought me your copy of Royal Edition.
Yeah, Royal
Almost
Edition.
called it Royale, and it doesn't work.
Oh, I have the digital for Royal Edition if you just want to put it on the PS5 downstairs.
Yeah, it's available on the PS Plus. I just haven't had time, but it's just been a.
Well,
I got ready to play it, and then it was like, go get fucked, and I was like,
so mine will have all of the stuff. Like, so the PS Plus games don't always come with all the DLCs and stuff, and the version of Royal Edition that I have downstairs has all of the extra episodes, DLCs, costumes, all that stuff. So if you just want to get out of the story, just to make sure you get everything. But yeah, so like with episode. With the three Ignis, Prompto, and Gladio, you get like weapons that come into your main game. I just realized
how different of people we are. For you, the reward is what you get when you clear it. For me, the reward is the story I'm getting while playing.
No, I mean the story is definitely helpful, right? Like that's the main thing I play those things for. But like
I want that one. I want something with the dungeon thing that there's no explanations given with. The hidden dungeon that's just basically a puzzle place, and
oh my god, that fucking place.
Like, what were you doing with this? Tell me what's up with this?
Yeah, well, like when I say the prize is
the
like,
name of it.
The prize for playing the episodes clearly is like the story that happens when these characters are separated from Noxus during the main story. Noctis, fuck, through the main story. That's obviously the reason to play
Luke
them.
This guy.
Noxus, Luke this guy. But when you complete them, it gives you an item that goes into the main storyline. It's like, hey, you beat the thing. Good job. Now take this fucking gun that's more powerful than anything else Prompto will ever have in the rest of this fucking gameplay. And now he's not as fucking useless. Don't start. But you finish them like
you just knew I was gonna come at you for talking about my boy.
It's fucking yeah, I'm talking about your fucking chocobo with no wings. That's what I'm talking about. I love Prompto. Like personality-wise, Prompto is probably the best character in the game. The problem is that like if one of the robots farts in his general direction, out fucking cold. He's useless as shit. In the game, Gladio is the best character by a mile. He's a meat shield that can deal the damage back, and I love him passionately. But so like I'm
most excited to play episode Ignis and just see why my nigga went blind.
Oh my god, yes, do that shit. That Ignis story.
Brotherhood?
Is that the movie?
No, that might be. No, Brotherhood is the 6-episode anime.
I have not.
You get to see Chubby Chunk. You get to see
Fat Chocobo? Dope.
Basically, you get to see Fat Prompto.
He is a Chocobo, that's fair.
Yeah, so when you're like Fat Chocobo, I'm like, yeah.
But no, Ignis's blindness is explained, does make sense, and it makes him about fucking 20 times more badass than he already was.
And Gladio's scars get explained. Like
Gladio's scars get explained.
And Prompto's origin, which I already know.
For Prompto's isn't, I mean, it's his origin to a point, but it's also like what he's doing while he's off by himself when he gets knocked off of that train. But like Prompto, you get a gun that carries into the main story. So like it increases his damage output. Ignis gets the Mage Mashers, I believe. I might be wrong. I think Mage Mashers.
You get that. That's a DLC.
Okay. You get
like
some kind of
99 cent or free DLC.
Yeah, you get one of the daggers. One of his daggers you get from completing episode Ignis.
Oh yeah.
And then you get the Masamune from completing episode Gladio. So it's like all shit that you can put on them and it matters. The only thing you get for completing episode Arwen is
Arden.
Arden.
That's it.
Fuck that
well,
guy.
No, we couldn't remember, and I was wrong too. So I was like, "Oh, we gotta."
When you complete episode Arianman, all you get is his fucking that weird ass coat he wears and his fedora. And like statistically, they're not worth putting on.
Stetson.
There's whatever. There is shit that you get normally in the game that is better than the shit you get from him.
See, I'm not even sad about episode Luna Freya so much as not getting episode Regis. Not Regis.
Yeah, any of them. I don't care.
Her brother, whatever his name was. I thought it was Regis, but that's your dad.
Yeah, it's your dad. The white-haired dude. I can't think of his name. It's been so long since I played.
Rectus, Romulus. It's an R.
Rectus.
That's what happened. He appeared and I wrecked it.
Oh man,
this is a good segue to, hey Drew, what you playing?
Oh man, Ravis. That was his name, Ravis. What am I playing? All right, so let's get this shit first and foremost out of the way. We're not going to argue about the politics of this. We've gone about it back and forth on the show, off the show. So I'm going to address it up front.
Today.
I'm going to address it up front and be done with it. J.K. Rowling is a piece of shit. No one's going to say that J.K. Rowling is a piece of shit. Is not a piece of shit. She absolutely is. Her views on trans people are completely unacceptable in every form or fashion. I understand that people are trying to use this game as a soapbox platform to announce how great they are, about how much they support people, and the people that want to be supported are at current, in my experience, only accepting support through the act of boycotting this game. I choose to administer my support for the trans people in my life through loving actions and financial donations towards companies that are going out of their way to legally protect those people, which, in my opinion, is a much louder and more effective method of showing my support than by simply not playing a game. That being said, I did not pay a single penny for Harry Potter's. It's not Harry Potter. I did not pay a single penny for Avalanche Games' Hogwarts Legacy. However, I have been playing it. It is an absolute romp of nostalgia through the Harry Potter universe. I'm not done with it yet. It's very open world. So, and it's wild, right? Because it's a humongous map, but it's not as big as like your Skyrims and shit like that, clearly. Because you're only in like the Scottish Highlands, Hogwarts, and Hogsmeade. But it's open world enough that like I've had to take breaks periodically to play other shit as like a palate cleanser, just to get over like how much time and effort it takes to expand and see this whole map. I'm not fully done with the main storyline yet. I do have to play it after this one 3 more times so that I can see everything. If you're going to play the game, I recommend it. It's very fun. It's a well done game. Is it going to change? Did we like reinvent anything about gaming with this game? Absolutely not. But we don't do that with most games. So to expect some like industry defining change within this game because of the controversy and drama that's been whipped up is just silly. I saw a review of this game that said it didn't deserve a review because J.K. Rowling created the Wizarding World, which is patently unfair. And within it was like, I played the review version. It's competent in all fields, but it's not going to change the gaming industry. It's not supposed to change the gaming industry. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to give you nostalgia. You get to fly around on a broom. You get to fly around on a hippogriff. You get to 10 classes. This game has done more than almost any game I've ever played as far as diversity and representation. The screaming minority of characters within this game is white people. There's homosexuality is wildly well represented. There's at least one transgender canon character. Your character can be transgender. One of your professors.
That's a separate character from you.
Yes. One of the canonical characters is transgender. Their name is Sirona. And what I have seen is like, oh, they took the male to female character and named them Sirona. That's named after a goddess. Calm the fuck down. Your character can be transgender. Like I was saying before, one of the primary protagonists, who are one of the primary friend characters of the protagonist, is from Africa. She has a very thick Ugandan accent. Her mother is one of the professors. One of your other professors is, I want to say, Indian descent. There may be like 2 or 3 clearly like European white people as leadership characters in the game, but not the majority.
Name 4 right away, but one of them would be a spoiler.
Are you talking about the headmaster, the deputy headmaster?
Yeah. Yep.
She's not. So when I say like a leadership position, she's not featured prominently within your story. Like she's a big character and she has moments where like, but I've had maybe on screen 40 or 50 hours into the game, on screen maybe 3 interactions with that character. She's not very prominently featured.
That's because they're teachers. They never.
Well, some of the teachers are. I'm not going to spoil anything with this one. Professor Fig is fairly often presented in there. He's part of your main story that you're going through. And then I've had more interactions with the potions teacher than I have with the deputy headmaster. But no, it's just a fun game. Just blasting bad guys with your wand. What I will say,
and apparently good guys. I watched a guy on TikTok who was just like, "Here's how I declare on war on the Hufflepuffs," and just Avada Kedavra and a fucking Hufflepuff walking in the hall, and I was like, "Excuse me, what?"
yeah, no. So you can just go buck wild in this game if you want to. There's not like a. Remember how they're like no magic outside Hogwarts, full magic inside Hogwarts. Go crazy.
Might be the reason for the law. Like, okay,
You can use
y'all are
whatever
out
you
of
want.
control.
Yeah, you fucking crazy in here. Jesus. About 50 hours into the game, no signs of any kind of a rebellion of any type. The goblins that are featured do not have any kind of attachment to the bank. You deal with Gringotts goblins in the very beginning of the game. That's like your tutorial is to go to Gringotts, and then not another instance of those goblins after that. And the goblins that are featured team up with Nazis, the wizard Nazis. So you can make your allegories as much as you want. I feel like that says more about you than it does about the writing, but it's a good game. It's a good game. I would not have played 50 hours of it if it wasn't well done. Just now to the point of being able to, not just now, I've had it for a little while, but I'm to the point of capturing beasts. So I've got like a couple Thestrals. I've got myself a pair of Nifflers. I'm hoping that my room of requirement opens up and I get like another cage. Not cage isn't the right word. There's like a pocket dimension within the room of requirement, which is a pocket dimension that you go to release your beasts and let them out to explore.
Right,
so that
you get to release your beast.
Yeah, release the beast. So far, each of the beast chambers that you get, you have put 4 species in. So both of mine are like full on species that I can release into them right now. So I'm hoping for like another room. So if the game doesn't let me collect all of the beasts at some point, I'll be real annoyed because Pokemon trained me a certain type of way.
But be careful about what kinds you release into there. Like if you release a carnivore, is that going to eat a prey animal?
No, so they don't have anything like that in there where your beasts will fuck with each other. Once you capture them, they're safe. So it just gives you an opportunity to go in there. I've got like auto feeders to keep them fed the whole time. And then you just go around. The whole point of capturing beasts is that when you groom and feed them, they like shed beast materials for you to use in like magical potions and stuff. That way you can get the same stuff the poachers are going after, but without hurting them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I got like Niffler hair, I've got Thestral hair, all kinds of wild stuff, which that's a lot of fun. Yeah, to the point, I'll be honest with you, this is not what I expected. I prefer broom flight over hippogriff flight.
Of course you do. You love riding rods.
Well, even if I didn't, the thing that makes the hippogriff flight not as fun, right? Because it looks great and it's super fun to do. But like when you need to land in a hurry, that's not fucking happening. So you have to like, with brooms, you just hold circle and wherever you're at, you just descend to the ground and put your broom away and you go. With hippogriffs, you have to like stop flying and like descend with the right stick, like all the way to the ground. So if you flew to like the top of your flight limit, you're going to be there for a second. So you have to get like all the way to the ground and then they hover at the ground for a second before they'll land. And then once they fully land, then you can hit circle to put them back in your knapsack. So it takes way longer to dismount off of like a mount. But I have flown on my hippogriffs. I've flown on my Thestral that we got for the deluxe edition. Broom flight is just more convenient and more effective, and it's just as fast. But there's so many challenges tucked away in Hogwarts Legacy that it just gives you an opportunity to do all types of stuff. I have balloon. There's like a balloon challenge, right? Where you like have to fly the broom and pop these different balloons that are floating. And you do those to get more broom skins. There are the hardest challenge probably, they have these landing pads you have to find. And they're like not marked on the map anywhere. So like everything else is marked on the map. I've got like astrology things that are marked on the mini map. Like if I use Revelio, I can see them on the map, like where I got to go to get to those. But the landing pads don't have any marks. So you just have to fly and see them and land on them. But no, like aside from that, it's just so much fun to go and investigate this fucking castle that I read about my whole childhood, saw these movies about. What cracks me up the hardest, right, is just people who don't realize they're just like, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find the Whomping Willow in the Shrieking Shack. And I'm like, no, you're not. This game takes place in 1890, and those didn't go in until fucking 1971, bro.
They had to have gone in before that.
Nope.
They were old and there when Harry's parents went there.
They were not. They built the Shrieking Shack for Remus Lupin so that he would have a safe place to transform. And the Whomping Willow
discovered it.
And the Whomping Willow was placed in 1971 to block the secret passage to the Shrieking Shack. I could be wrong about the Shrieking Shack, but I know for sure that the Whomping Willow was planted to block the passage to the Shrieking Shack. So the shack had to be there before the Whomping Willow. But
I just remember people have to grab its nutsack to get it to stop.
To get what to stop?
The Whomping Willow. You know, that large bulbous thing down by its roots.
Oh, I mean, I calm down when someone grabs my nutsack too.
I'm like, whatever you want. I'm sorry. I'll stop flailing my fist wildly.
There's only two emotions when that happens. Either like, okay, all right, calm down, I'll stop, or finally, thank God. Like, both of those will calm you down almost immediately. But yeah, no. So Hogwarts Legacy is the primary thing I've been playing. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's not going to change the world, but it scratches your itch, gives you open world. You get to go around. You can Avada Kedavra anyone in the game, like even big bosses. You just Avada Kedavra, get the fuck out of here. You're done. And then you just have to deal with their cronies. What else have I been playing? I've been picking up Persona 4. I tried 3. The map traversal in 3 hurts. I don't like it.
That's just
P3P. I know it's just 3 PvP.
That's one of the things I was complaining about too.
Yeah, I prefer being on the map. I don't like that so much, and I've already played Persona 3, so it's like hard for me to restart. Because if you guys haven't played Persona games, Persona games are fucking long, bro. They're
so
in
time.
I'm not saying they're not, but they're fucking long. They're in depth. They're highly detailed. They're deep dives. Like you play a year in a character's life, one day at a time, through a calendar. Like, they take investment. And it's hard for me to get swung back into Persona 3's. I've already played it. And I guess I need to replay from the female character perspective, but really it's been so long since I played Persona 3, I got to replay as a male character to have something to go on. So that's exhausting in and of itself. And then, so I went into Persona 4 because I haven't played it. It's fully fresh. And I always forget that like the first in-game month of a Persona game is just listening to exposition and story, and just like Persona's so exposition-y in the front that like what I have done is I have turned on auto advance on the text and everything's voiced. Thank fuck. So I'll go into like the next stage of what I'm supposed to do and I'll let them talk, and I just take that time to start cleaning up my room and getting all my stuff together. And it's a great use of all that time, because otherwise it's like an hour at a time of just sitting and staring at the screen. And at a certain point they open up and you can like jump into the dungeon and go through and do everything you need to do. But yeah, I'm enjoying Persona 4. I don't know why every Persona's got to have like a goofy, weird mascot character, but I watched him pull Teddy's head off in the first minutes of the game. And he was like, there's got to be a guy in here. Boop! And just pulled his fucking head off his body. And I was like, it's bear in this one, it's cat in the next one. I don't know what Persona 6 is going to have, but it's like a dog that's made of cheese or something. I don't know. It's always wild.
3 has a dog, actually.
So not a dog then. So we got a dog, we got a cat, we got a bear. I'm a Slither, and we'll go with snakes. We'll have Snake for Persona 6. You heard me here, Alice.
I'm going to say Weasel.
We're both going to be dead fucking wrong. Like, wildly incorrect.
But I don't know. I'm going off of just lore and
yeah, I know you go off of like Japanese Oni cultures and shit and whatever. That's fine. We're both going to be dead fucking wrong. Oh, I said what I said. It's all fucking. I speak American. I didn't say English. I said American. I speak American.
He wishes he speak good or English like the rest of us.
I don't be wishing I spoke good or English. God darn it. I speak just fine American. But no, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot in that first month of the game.
The character Mary is exclusive to Golden.
Okay. Also, if you've never played a Persona and you're like, ooh, I kind of like the way that sounds, do yourself a favor and follow my example, because I don't ever, I'm telling you, ever put hands on a fucking Persona game until I find an appropriate walkthrough that covers the whole game. You have to. There's a lot of
tell you when to do what type of activities.
Yep, there are a lot of them that are spoiler free. The one I have for Persona 4, it tells you it's so spoiler free that like let me pull this up. So the first day of every Persona game for some reason is like April 12th. And like the whole description for April 12th on my guy, 412, you calling me a loser? 3 courage. That's it. That's the whole day. So it doesn't tell you, just find a guy that doesn't tell you anything that's happening within the game. It just tells you what to say to get the stat boosts that you need. But if you play Persona, just raw dog it, you are one of 2 things. You're either a masochist or a psychopath. Like these games, if you don't want to fucking New Game Plus through them 7 times to see everything, you've got to use a guide. You've got to use a guide. That's why I never play.
You have to at least New Game Plus once, because if you complete each game with like perfect, getting all the social links and everything, you get a secret boss on the next playthrough. But it's at the beginning, unlike some games that put it at almost the fucking end.
Yeah. So like, if you want to play a Persona game, play the game, just do the guide. That's why I don't ever play a Persona game right when it comes out. I always try to give it 6 months for somebody to be like, oh, this is exactly how to min-max the game. So that I can
Persona 1 and 2 are massively different. If you want to play those, they are entirely different. They're a whole other game. And one of them literally has Hitler in it. Like
why wouldn't it?
He's just there. And
I'm surprised Shadow Hearts didn't do that.
Persona made the older Persona games did a lot of things like race swapping a character and making him heavily into hip hop for some reason that was never addressed, and just changed the way he spoke, and it didn't even correlate. It's not like he had an Osaka accent in the Japanese, so they made him a redneck because that's their equivalent. They were just like, here's a thing, and it's like, why is this happening?
Like, don't you worry about that, little white boy.
One day when we cross over with the couch potatoes and do something with them, we'll have Tall Jason talk about Persona 1 and 2 because they're his favorite games on the planet.
Somebody, look, if I've learned anything from people playing Dark Souls, somebody's going to love something. Somebody's going to love everything.
Yeah, I'm usually that somebody.
Usually. Sometimes I feel like you love things just because no one else does, and that's not great.
There are some things that don't deserve love.
So what else am I playing? I have played a little bit, not as much as you have at this point. One Piece Odyssey.
Real fun.
I really enjoy it. I enjoy turn-based RPGs, so I knew I was going to have fun with it. The only struggle I'm having is the language barrier, man. I hate... my problem with it is, like, if it was, like, a lower budget anime, or, like, a studio, like, something that wasn't, like, a Shonen Jump level product, I would understand them only having one language track. But if you make a few $1 million a year off of your show being in English, syndicated in America, and you're going to sell this game in America, just get your fucking English cast to dub the game too. Like, you're not going to go bankrupt because you paid for the extra voice track and the game wasn't successful. It was going to be successful. It's got One Piece in the title. Like, for like a smaller studio, cool. What, like the Inuyasha game, even though I'm pretty sure that's Shonen probably.
No, that's Shueisha.
Okay. Like the Inuyasha game we talked about a couple weeks ago is PlayStation 2 Secret of the Cursed Mask. That one, if it had had voiceovers, I think the attacks were voiced.
Yeah.
Like those not having an English dub is more understandable than a Dragon Ball Z. Like imagine putting out a Dragon Ball Z game with no English voices.
It happens a lot, and the reason why is that when they do English ones, the fans just complain if they don't. See, they need to have both options just because people get so mad at the lack of the Japanese track, and I'm like, you don't speak a word of this. You don't understand what they're saying.
Exactly. I hate when somebody who doesn't speak Japanese tries to tell me the Japanese dubs are better than English dubs. I'm like, you don't fucking know that. You don't know that. Unless you speak both of those languages fluently, and you could tell me like the difference in the dialects and the idioms.
Even conversationally, I'll give them that. Like, I
Right.
can't claim fluency in anything, even English these days.
Right, but the dudes that are like, oh, Japanese dubs are better than English dubs, they don't speak 5 fucking words of Japanese. Like, they sound cooler because they're in another language that you don't understand. Like, don't tell me, like, you understand that the English dub is bad because you speak English. You don't know that about the Japanese dub. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I just want to play the game without having to fucking go through all this shit. Like, it's such a disconnect for me to read the English and hear the Japanese in a game. Like, I'm going to go in later and see if I can just turn just the voices off. Because if so, that'll probably make it a lot smoother for me. That way I can hear like the background and the game sounds and stuff that are supposed to be in there. But if I can't do that, it's going to be harder for me to play it because it's harder for me to miss those. Like, I don't feel right just muting it and playing through, but I will if I have to. But aside from that, it's a really good game. I'm really enjoying it. The combat system is great. And I'll tell you, the beginning I was worried because like the story starts you off at like level 40, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't
literally texted me about it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to start ultra busted and then come in with all the moves. Like, I want to like level up and learn it. And I texted Robin about it, and I was like, oh, I don't fucking know.
Just wait.
I was like, unless they're gonna fix it. Well, it was before you had even played it. I was like, unless they fix this.
What else? That's a rule. It's a crap sack world.
And then, like, as I was texting him, like, I don't know about this. I was in the cutscene where you get depowered. I was like, oh, okay, all right, never mind. Fucking problem retracted. But yeah, the biggest part about the One Piece game that's going to be a struggle for the anime community is they have shown once again that you can definitely make RPGs out of an anime story. It does not all need to be fighting games. We can communicate stories via
specifically out of a big 3 shonen.
Yeah. Like, oh boy, I'm about to lose my anime fan card with some people listening here. I fucking hate Naruto passionately. There is nothing about that anime that has redeemed itself to me at any juncture.
Is this another case of the fandom?
By and large, probably.
Okay.
But I also gave it my 3 episodes rule, and nothing on the first 3 episodes grabbed me. Like, it's one of those. It's like The Office. Like, I don't want to watch it for a season to get to the part that doesn't suck. I find that exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, I put in 3 seasons of Bleach and couldn't get there, so I understand.
That was a fucking mistake, my friend.
Putting in 3 seasons of Bleach?
Yeah, season 1 of Bleach was passable. Wasn't good. It was passable. Season 2, actively bad.
I thought you were a Bleach fan.
I'm a Hitsugaya fan.
Everyone's a Hitsugaya fan.
Everyone's
a Diet Hiei fan.
Yeah, I'm a Hitsugaya fan. I figured you would be a Bleach fan more than anyone.
I hate abandoned plot arcs.
I don't know.
He gives up in the middle of every arc to start a new one. I'm like, my dude.
I don't know how you don't see yourself in Ichigo. He's got as many races as you do.
That's somehow racist, Drew.
Is it? Is it somehow racist? All right. How many ethnicities do you possess? 11. You might have actually outstripped Ichigo and the number of races that he has. Let's see. How many races
species maybe
is Ichigo? Oh, I didn't have to finish typing Ichigo because everybody wanted to fucking know.
Did it give from Bleach?
Yep. At the end of the series, Ichigo is a blend of 4 distinct races: human, hollow, Quincy, and Shinigami. So you have outstripped my man here by like several degrees.
I thought he was a Bound and like those other...
I think those are jobs, not races.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. The title of the article that quote is from is Ichigo Kurosagi's 10 transformations in chronological order. He's such a problem.
Yeah, that's 11 different forms.
Ichigo suffers from shonen main character syndrome, where he's like way worse about it than the rest of them. Where like as soon as
Superman syndrome,
as soon as a race pops up, Ichigo will somehow have that in his blood in some fucking way that we didn't have explained through the previous 11 seasons, but now all of a sudden it's been there the whole time.
I felt bad for Glasses Boy. Pretty boy.
Oh, the Quincy?
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is my whole thing. I'm a Quincy and nobody else is." And he just goes,
I'm
like,
the last Quincy. And he goes,
I'm actually.
that. We've lost all of our anime fans. You hit him with Naruto, and I came on Bleach, and then I'm about to make fun of Dragon Ball. So
you make fun of, and like, if you don't make fun of Dragon Ball, you're not an anime fan. I don't know a single anime fan who's like, Dragon Ball Z is just such a good story. It's not. It's punching people.
but they're like, oh, look at this new character. Goku could beat him, and I'm like, this guy writes books.
I mean,
my
Goku.
favorite is people are like the ghost who teaches the kid in Hikaru no Go to play Go. Goku could probably beat him, and I'm like, that's not a fighter. Goku's not just gonna walk in and be like, me and you right now.
This just be like, Goku could beat you, bro. You got a point. Like, what are you trying to say? Like, anybody who just does the Goku could win thing. Like, if your first instinct when you see a new character is to pit them in a fight against Goku, I know that you just don't watch compelling anything. You don't watch compelling.
The only time I give it a pass is if you're playing J-Star Victory versus then it's assumed you're gonna go against Goku at some point.
Yeah, if you play like Shonen Force back in the day when you could still find it.
Jump Force?
Yeah, that one. If you're in a fighting game that features Goku,
Jump Force is the newer one. J-Star's Victory Versus was the older ones.
No, because Jump Force is gone. I went to go download it for Dante the other day. It's gone.
Yeah, they have completely delisted it, but it's the newer one. Jump Force came out, I think, 4 years ago.
I don't know why they delist. Because normally, if it's delisted and you bought it, you can still get it. Like, you can still go to it. Because they did that with Power Rangers Side Scroller. When Bandai lost the licensing, they delisted it. But I went and re-downloaded it the other day because I owned it.
February 8th, 2022 is when they ended the sales of full game DLC and virtual currency for PS4, Xbox One, and PC Jump Force. And Jump Force came out worldwide, well, Japan 14th February, worldwide 15th February 2019.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do fighting games because most of them don't tell great stories. And stories are why I game.
The J-Stars games did, though. Like, they were real good because they had to pull together a reason why all the universes were fighting each other. And I was like, all right. Basically, anything that Spike Chunsoft makes is usually going to be a fantastic game.
I mean, and again, I'll check it out. I'm not opposed to playing a fighting game. I want stories that are good. And my problem, right, where I've fucked up is I compare fighting games, and I don't feel like this is unfair. I compare fighting game stories to like the story mode in Soul Calibur 2 on PlayStation 2, and they just don't fucking hold up. Mortal Kombat does. That's an exception. I play all those.
Mortal Kombat does. Most Street Fighters do.
I don't know.
Tekken really doesn't because it has their like your starting cutscene and an interspersed cutscene in the middle, and then your after beating it cutscene, and that's it. I need more than that personally. But Spike Chunsoft did the Attack on Titan game, and Zonky Zero, and 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Rooms, and Conception Plus, which I don't know if you ever got around to playing.
I started it, and I just laughed at how they Americanized out all the things they didn't want kids to see.
Yeah.
I found that funny. Conception
Plus.
Are
you talking about the sex thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just the way it is in Japan too. Unless you're on PC.
I hate that so much.
It was Sony's decision there. Sony gets real particular, which some of them I understand because I think one of the girls is like 12.
I mean, cool. Don't make a game where like the way to get the most powerful characters is to breed your characters together and then make some of them 12. That's also a decision on Sony's part.
I don't know that she's actually 12, but she looks like a child to me.
They always have one of them. She'll be like 19. She looks like 11. I fucking hate that shit.
They're like, here's this character. I'm like, oh, that character's never getting laid.
I'm like, please stop appeasing lowly dudes. Please. Pretty please.
Like my whole reaction when I saw it was, oh, I'm sorry. You're never going to fulfill your purpose, man. Because they're all like, my purpose is to breed with the Star Keeper or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, like I'm a pervy, hedonist, lonely sex man. I am. You can ask anybody who's known me for more than a day. It's not. That's how I self-identify. And 9 times out of 10, like if you're a lady and you want some, come get some. The champ is here. However, if you're
The
built,
people's champion.
I am the people's champion. If you're built like a 14-year-old boy, even if you're 30, maybe not. I'm not small. I don't want to hurt you. Not in ways that you don't want to be hurt.
we have a friend who my brain is only recently able to not see.
That is
as
who
a
I
small
picture
child.
when I say this. And it's funny because if given the opportunity, I would absolutely have dated them, given the chance. But I would also be like hella nervous about hurting them.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
That's because you're good people.
Yeah. And I'm also legitimately like on a scale 3 times the size of this person.
At least.
At least.
Again, this is not making fun of my brother.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not making fun of anybody. Like I'm just like, if you're real thin and petite, I mean, you're probably gorgeous, but I'm going to be fucking terrified the entire time. But like those, I hate when they make design ideas like Conception Plus. We're like, all right, let's just put this clearly 12-year-old child in this game. It'll be fine. Everything's gonna be great. What did you send me? Okay, I'm here for it. Absolutely.
So what else have you been playing?
Oh, I played the demo for Octopath Traveler 2.
There we go.
Oh, fucking baby. So a lot of times a sequel will go out of its way to try to reinvent the wheel. And that shit frustrates me. I think that's one reason I like the Suikoden so much. Like the difference between Suikoden 1 and Suikoden 2 is like a couple quality of life updates. Like in Suikoden 1, not running was very annoying. So like just adding dashing on the map to the base of Suikoden 2 was fantastic. It was a great move. But aside from that, it wasn't a drastically different game. When people put out new games and it's like drastically different than the one before it, I find that real frustrating. Path Traveler 2 avoided that immensely. Octopath Traveler 2 feels almost exactly like Octopath Traveler 1 and I mean that in only the best ways that I can say it. It is to a point where like I got frustrated because the demo's only 3 hours long. Now you can carry the save over and that's nice. Sure. Great. That doesn't help me for like another week. I absolutely plan to find a way to have Octopath Traveler 2 before launch day so I can play it when it comes out. It is so fun. The one thing they did, two major things that they changed that I noticed. I know there may be more tucked around here and there, but the first thing is that from what I can tell, the story segments are fully voiced. And in Octopath Traveler 1, they were like a majority voiced, and then you would get to a point in the story segment where like the paragraph would come up and they would voice like the first 3 or 4 words, and then you had to read the rest of it. The NPC interactions aren't fully voiced, so it's not quite as intense as the Crisis Core remaster. But I like having more of the voice in there. And the other thing I've picked up, and I'm going to jump on the other characters at some point and check out what theirs do, but now there's a day and night mechanic that wasn't in Octopath Traveler 1 that alters what your field attacks do. So for instance, I played as Thornay in my first run on the demo, and that's the thief character. So in Octopath Traveler 1, you could steal on the world map. Or not the world map, the field map. So you can like walk up to a character, try to steal from them, and give you like a percentage of success or whatever. But now if you do it at night, she doesn't steal. She'll go in and it's called ambush. And they're like, do you want to ambush this person? You hit yes. The screen fades black and comes back and they're just unconscious. And you can walk past them to get into like blocked doors and stuff like that. So I don't know what everybody else's difference is like between the day and night yet, because I haven't delved into everybody quite yet. But aside from that, it feels just like Octopath Traveler 1. And I say that as an immense compliment. Octopath Traveler 1 was a fantastic title. It's a game, honestly, I need to go back and finish, because I didn't quite get to the end of everybody's quest lines and stuff like that. But I definitely need to, especially as we're coming up to Octopath Traveler 2, just so that I can see like if there's any kind of correlation or crossover between 1 and 2. I imagine there probably won't be, but if there is, that would be really cool to see. But I'm very excited about it. It plays very good. I enjoy it quite a lot. Combat-wise, it plays just like the first game. So
they had said if there would be anything, it would be small Easter eggs, because it's, I think, like 180 years later or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm very excited for it. It was a lot of fun. I was very upset I only got 3 hours.
I was like waiting on you to get to it. I was like...
Yeah, no, I know. I was like, we're going to talk about it. So what have you been playing?
Mostly One Piece Odyssey. It's to me, it's been a very great game. I've been enjoying. My one complaint is that party balance wise, unless I'm in a boss battle, I don't need more than Luffy and Solo. The two of them have soloed even as much as an 8 creature group with just the two of them, and it's been like, yeah, that's cool. I love these characters. They're two of my favorite characters, but we have this whole other party. Let's get the encounters to be big enough for them to have a chance to shine. Granted, I'm only about like 10% of the way through the game, but still. And then I've been playing this game called Evo Land, which starts you out in 8-bit era, black and white, grayscale. And yeah, every time you interact with the chest, it adds another game design element. And it starts out, it's essentially a Zelda game. And then when you get to the world map, it'll add random battles, and then it turns to a turn-based RPG. Except some maps later on are also Zelda-based. But as you go through, you unlock the ability to gain levels and that kind of stuff. And it is a parody of just all of the action adventure JRPG games that have come so far. Like you get a 3D mode and you're built like Cloud, and then you get what did it call it? Graphical texture, and then you're yeah, then instead of being polygons and triangles, you're rounded, and it looks like Link in Ocarina of Time. And it keeps going, and the saves are it's a 2-slot game. Like it has 2 save slots you can have, and whenever you walk over a save point, it just automatically saves your game.
I'm actually going to download that bad boy right now.
It's wild.
I didn't think it wouldn't be.
You have to go back at some point after you get other abilities to access things.
So a very Legend of Zelda move.
Yeah. So like if you're going somewhere and you can, like there's one dungeon where there's a cracked wall you can see, and you can see on the other side of it due to the way the map is set up, you can see a chest there, but you can't get to it because you have no way of getting through that cracked wall. I don't know if there's going to be a bomb or what it's going to give me because I just got to the boss there and was getting destroyed by it. Then I wanted to watch TV with you guys, so I stopped playing video games. I'm going to be starting Soul Hackers.
It's a joke. I'm just playing.
And that's one that I've been looking forward to for a while. And right now, if you have PS Plus and PS4 or 5, which obviously if you have PS Plus, you've got one of them, I would recommend getting on there and getting Soul Hackers. The deluxe version is $45 right now, which includes all of the DLC, all the expansions, and the secret quest and everything. And that's usually $90, so it's 50% off right now.
Pretty dope. What is Soul Hackers about? Let me ask that.
Okay, so I have to uncondense, so I'm not going to throw at you the entire lore of the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Fair.
All right. Soul Hackers is it's, like all Shin Megami Tensei games, it's a supernatural RPG. But this has summoners living in like a cyberpunk Japan, and you access things inside of terminals and outside, and the two worlds are blending together, as is the demon world. And that's all I know of it right now. I've not had a chance to play it. I think you just said something, but it didn't get picked up by the.
No, I just said okay. And that is certainly a review. I haven't played.
Not a review.
I know.
That's it. I know that you play as Ringo, who has a partner named Fig, but
it's what?
So Fig.
You broke up. So it was Fig. It's like
I said you play as Ringo, who has a partner named Fig, which is Figue, which like I said, and I was like, which I know is not the Fig you were expecting when I said that.
That's fair.
There's something called the Sea Project, which was going to destroy the world as we know it, and its leaders, or hello?
Yep, you broke up again. So its leaders.
Oh, I'm guessing this guy's a lead. I've seen him just in the trailers and stuff, but his name is Iron Mask, and he's a devil summoner, which devil summoners are people who can summon demons to aid them in battle.
God, this Iron Mask guy is getting a lot of play and stuff. His first season, Tales of Arise, and then this shit. Jesus Christ.
You're going to absolutely hate the fact that one of the types of devil summoner is Yata Garsuian.
Why am I going to hate that?
Just having to say that word.
No, I mean, I'll just say whatever sounds like it and makes me chuckle.
What was I doing that with the other day?
Much to your intense chagrin.
What was I playing the other day that you came down and I literally kept mocking a character by changing their name slightly or definitely getting it wrong every time?
The closest one to memory was not the other day, but when you were playing the Crisis Core remake, you refused to call Genesis Genesis.
Oh yeah, Exodus. Oh look, there's Leviticus
for book of the Bible every time. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, you mean my man Leviticus? And I was like, yeah, we're doing that. Okay, no, that's fine.
Yes, I put nothing but respect on Angeal. I'm like, there's Angeal, and oh look, he's brought with him numbers.
Real hard to disrespect Angeal. Angeal's a fucking fantastic character. Have we been playing anything else?
No, I got real big frustrated because, as you guys know, I recently got the ability to play on PS5 again, and my cloud storage files had not had time to update from the day that I had almost completed Potion Permit and started Forspoken, so I went to play them and it wanted me to start all the way over, so I opted not to do that. I played the first 15 minutes of Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I'm just, my mood is not the type of mood I need to be in to play that game.
Play a Disney themed farming simulator.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you to explain a game here real fast.
All right.
As I'm looking at your purchase history, and I have at least one I need to follow it up on.
What's that?
And not Teenage Exocolonist. Not that one. Not that one. That's a fun name. I need you to break down for me Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
Oh, yes. That's one of the best games ever.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm rapt attention.
It's in this game, you play as a troublemaking turnip, and like you don't pay taxes. You solve puzzles, harvest crops, battle people, kind of Zelda-like combat stuff, and you do quests for the characters, and everybody in the game is fucked up. Like, there's not a single non-corrupt good person in the game.
Well, that's super realistic, at least. I saw the title and I was like, there's no fucking way. But yes, kids, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a real title.
The game itself is actually a few years old, but it just released on the PlayStation 4 and 5 this month.
You know what else just released on the PlayStation 4 and 5? Boyfriend Dungeon. Go woo your weapons.
Romancevania will be next month. The Dracula dating sim.
Yeah, I think Boyfriend Dungeon's like $20. Also, if it's available on platforms you play on, support my heroes. Go play Dream Daddy.
I need you to know, I was going to make a super good joke about Romancevania and call it Dream Blatty.
Fucking Christ.
Dream Blatty?
Danny, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just having a dream, Daddy. That's a Game Grumps game, and both of the Game Grumps are my heroes for different reasons entirely. I have not yet purchased Dream Daddy, but I fully plan on it, even if I won't play it.
For PC, though.
Do what?
I have it for PC.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it's on the server, then...
A Space for the Unbound is a side-scrolling little slice-of-life adventure game. You're going through my list, so you definitely see it probably right now, in fact. But it's about overcoming anxiety and depression, and this girl and her friend are writing a book together, and it's just a simple, cute kid's story, but she's like unsure of like what people will say about it and stuff, so she's nervous, and he takes this red book, and uses it to go inside her head and help clear the fear and everything. And that's as far as I got in that, because it was getting heavy, and I was not in a good space to be playing a heavy game.
That's wild. You usually prioritize heavy games.
Yeah, this was an Indonesian indie game.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll explain it.
Explain what?
The weight of emotions.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that in like Korean dramas. Holy shit, guys. Like, why does everything have to be so sad?
So sad or so happy. It's just so emotion.
You could say they give you emotional damage.
Yep.
I'm quoting a TikTok. I'm not making fun of anybody. Everybody calm down.
Okay, here we go. I pulled up the summary. Follow two high school sweethearts, Atma and Raya. Apparently they're sweethearts. I didn't gather that. I thought they were just friends. But on a journey of self-discovery at the end of their high school years. When a mysteriously supernatural power is suddenly unleashed, threatening their existence, they must explore and investigate their town to uncover hidden secrets, face the end of the world, and perhaps learn more about each other. Set in a small town inspired by 90s era rural. Yep, that's how you say that. Rural Indonesia, A Space for the Unbound presents an endearing story-driven experience with a vibrant environment waiting to be explored. And everything's like hand-drawn and hand-painted.
Okay. But yeah, no, I
they
saw this
call
Turtle
it
Boy
space
shit.
diving.
Yeah, I saw this Turtle Boy shit, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Sometimes a tax guy just has to play as an asshole who won't pay his taxes.
So, I mean, if you want a Drew simulator, that's fine.
You pay your taxes.
I'm kidding. I don't like it. I'm mad the whole time.
That's why I do your taxes.
It's important that everybody knows that I do my taxes, but I angrily. And
that's why I do your taxes, so you don't have to think about it.
The first time I find a loophole where I don't have to pay taxes anymore, I'm jumping in feet first.
I'm gonna catch him.
You don't need to catch me. It'll be a legal loophole. Once we get rich enough, and we'd be like Jeff Bezos. He hasn't paid taxes in years, and it's all super duper above board.
Yeah, but he's a bad person.
Okay, I'll be a good person not paying taxes.
If we become Bezos level rich, I'm just gonna take a third of our money and be like, "Here, government," and they're gonna be like, "This is too much." I'll be like, "Just fucking fix something for once."
Oh, for whatever reason, that's what always drives me crazy is when they're like, "Oh, we can't take donations to do that." I'm like, just do it. Just take the donation. Fix the thing.
Yeah, them refusing his help on the heels of the whole Philippines thing is probably exactly why Elon Musk has become a supervillain.
He just went insane. He was like, "Oh, so we just don't care about people. Cool. Noted." Leaning in.
He's like, "Okay, here's the money for this." No. "Okay, I'll go help here." That's a stupid idea. And now you're having a fight with this guy because for some reason you've decided to call him a pedophile. Like, that shit escalated. I'm like, Elon, that last part wasn't necessary.
Elon's whole career is an explanation of what is not necessary.
That's true.
Like he said, like, and I love the general attitude. He's taking it real far, but I love the attitude of like, you can't sell a flamethrower, and just finding the regulations of what is a flamethrower and making it just short of a flamethrower and then naming it not a flamethrower.
And I know that it means drilling, but I absolutely love the name of that company. It's just The Boring Company.
Yeah, it's so it's chef's kiss. And then he turned into what he is now.
Yeah.
And that's full insane. Like, I'm like, make it make sense, my man. What is happening right now?
Mortal Kombat turns 30. Sorry, 31.
That's fine. It's its turn. I turned 30 years ago. That's just how it works. I don't get to be 30 and you get to stay 19 forever. No, I don't care what my mom lives her life doing.
Dragon Quest V is also turning 31 if you go off of the original Japanese release. Global release, it's 30.
No, that's fine. I haven't played any Dragon Quests before 11, and I hate that about myself.
Yeah, we'll have to help you with that. You played 8?
I played a very little bit of 8. I did not play nearly the amount that everybody else deems is necessary to appreciate Dragon Quest. It's PlayStation 2, right?
Oh, 8, yes.
Okay.
It's also 3DS. I thought you meant 5. I was like, no.
I do need to get a 3DS replicator. That way we're not saying the E word.
We could just get a 3DS.
In theory, sure.
I saw one on Amazon today for $100, and it was the best aesthetic for a fucking 3DS for me. It is a 3DS that looks like a Super Nintendo, and then when you open up the inside looks like Super Nintendo controller.
Okay, sure.
I was like, oh.
I was never, even when I was a kid, I was never a Nintendo guy. I didn't get into video games till Sega Genesis.
In video game related news, the trailer dropped today for the Tetris movie, and it looks fucking fantastic.
And like, I'm a little wild they made such a drama about Tetris.
Well, there was so much drama with Tetris.
No, I mean, I know, But normally, like, corporate drama is boring drama, and then I remembered it was Russia.
Yeah. Alexei Pajitnov literally channeling his PTSD to make a game. My man just wanted to have something positive.
He's like, I just really like playing the myth. I'm like, please stop immediately.
Here, build this wall. Now break it down. Build this wall. Now the night shift will break it down.
Don't worry, wall will not be here when you get back. Fuck!
Just every day building a wall. What's the point of it all when you're building a wall if every day it disappears?
He's like, every day I'm struggling.
Okay, I'm going to say my most controversial opinion ever.
Andrew,
you can feel free to remove this or leave it in. But Super Bowl was this last weekend. I've been just really angry and confused about the He Gets Us, the 2 commercials about Jesus, and the fact that they spent $14 billion on that. If they got that kind of money, churches need to be taxed.
If Jesus can advertise on the Super Bowl, churches can pay taxes. Why would I cut that out? That's
because it's not game related.
Yeah, okay. It is game. It's game related. It was a sports game.
Ah, yeah, it was the season finale of the sports.
It was a major sports ball tournament, I'm told.
Everybody was talking about the Superb Owl, and I was just giving them pictures of Stolas.
Look, the important thing, right? Super Bowl is dumb and it's boring, and your sports team doesn't know who you are, and all of the support you give them in the world means next to nothing to them. In all honesty, they just say the shit they say because they want you to continue to spend your money on the sports ball game. The important thing about the Super Bowl coming is it means it's almost time for the premier sporting event of the year, WrestleMania. That is around the corner now.
I pictured a fake sport. My brain literally said the premier sport, and my brain went blitzball.
Oh my God. Square. Can you hear me? You can, but you aren't. Just please give me a blitzball game. Just blitzball. Just blitzball with like 2023 level effort. You don't even, I'll pay for it eventually. You don't need to sell it to anybody else. I want it just for me. Just give me blitzball. I'm begging you. There's like 30 of us that will buy and play the fucking bejesus out of that. I loved blitzball as much as I hated Tetramaster. And I cannot explain to you with the English language how much that truly is. It was so much fun. I got, the first time I played through Final Fantasy X all the way, I had all of Waka's overdrives before I got into my first fight on the Mihen High Road. That's how long I played Blitzball. It is a truly insane amount of dopamine that I get from that minigame. But yes, WrestleMania is here. Yay. Which also means that Revolution is almost here as well. That's AEW's WrestleMania. So, as a Wrestle fan, all of my sports ball games are coming up, and I'm very excited about them. I'm not going to talk about those because that's fully not a game. But if you're a wrestling fan, let me know. I'm not opposed to a wrestling podcast as well. I'll absolutely do that somehow with the time I don't have. We'll find a way to make it work. I will pander to whatever needs you guys have and or want. Do we have anything else? Anything else you've been playing? Anything else you're excited about? Want to bring up?
No.
Cool. Let's see. This will go out on the 17th. I think the next major thing coming out, 21st, Legend of Dragoon. You guys are going to get real fucking tired of hearing me bitch about the money on that. But I'm gonna.
He means the money in game, and
in game. No, I already pay for PlayStation. I have a big bill due for that on March 5th, but I won't have to pay again for a year, so that'll be fine. But the money I'm talking about in Legend of Dragoon, if you guys haven't played it, Legend of Dragoon, unless they fixed it, if you guys fix this, Sony, I'll love you so much. Legend of Dragoon is by a lot, like a huge margin, the slowest money grind I've ever encountered in an RPG. Like 10 gold per fight is a solid amount. You're like, oh fuck yeah, 10 gold. Like when you get to Lohan, they sell like game-breaking items just in the store there. They're 10,000 gold each. And in most RPGs, you're like, oh, baby, cool. Let me take an hour and grind this out, and then I'll go buy that shit. Not an LOD, baby. No.
He's gonna have to set aside a few hours a night just to grind money.
Yeah, just to money farm. And there's like a solid money farm in that section of the game. There's like one enemy, and they have like there's a couple. Legend of Dragoon has like a repeating thing where they have like an enemy per region. This got just a ridiculous, crazy high evasion rate, and if you don't beat it within a certain number of rounds, it'll insta kill one of your party members and run away. And the one in the castle region is, if you beat him, he drops 300 gold. But holy shit, is that like wildly difficult.
Oh, there is one other thing news-wise.
Okay.
The game Multiverses, the WB Smash Brothers game.
Oh yeah. Instinct Shaggy.
It is dead.
Oh, is it?
Over the last month, it has lost 99% of its daily Steam peak count.
For what?
It's just nobody's playing it.
It's just not
people
Smash
have
Brothers.
moved on.
I'm aware.
It's like people have moved on.
Well, you can only coast on Shaggy's coattails for so long before you gotta fucking figure your own shit out.
Their latest attempt is they're adding in an unlockable for Pickle Rick. They're
Oh,
like, maybe
joy.
Pickle Rick will save us, and I was like, okay.
Like we've heard quite enough about Justin Roiland's pickles in the last couple months. What?
Was trying to have a drink of water.
Well, that's what you get for drinking while I'm talking. You know that. My opinions might not always be popular, but I'm fucking funny, goddammit. Oh yeah, fucking. If your Hail Mary to save your game is Pickle Rick, you fucking leave.
I think it might be adding Rick and Morty, but literally, I saw an article titled "Will Pickle Rick Save Multiverses?" And I was like, no.
Man, what's that? What's the game where it just came out recently with the gun that's got Morty, Justin Roiland as Morty as the gun?
Ion Life, I think.
I do want to check that out. It's
on the server.
Is it okay? I do want to play it just because of the start menu shit had me dying.
Everything about it has me dying. Like at one point you wind up fighting a boss who essentially doses you with LSD, and then he splits into a bunch of clones.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I saw that part.
Yeah, we were watching Outside Xbox with that, and
it was just the part that cracked me up is when it was like, just press buttons and see which one shoots. One of them's got to shoot, right? And she like paused it. She's like, I'm gonna get a drink of water. And it comes back and unpauses the game. It's like, did you fucking pause? Did you pause the game? When in the history of anything has the pause button been shoot? When? I was like, what? That shit cracked me up. I was like, all right, I'll try it. I don't like shooter games, but I'll try that one. Because like Borderlands is so close. I mean, so close to being able to engage me. But there's like certain points of it that just get just too chaotic to deal with.
Yeah.
Like Borderlands 2 almost got me. I like Handsome Jack. I'm going to argue too much. Because like, yeah, he's like an irredeemable villain, but fuck is he funny. Like, what's the name of
irredeemable villain who's funny? Cave Johnson.
Like, what's the name of the butt stallion, the horse?
The stallion made of diamonds. Butt stallion.
Butt stallion. I was thinking butt stallion. What do you think, buddy? All right, I'll call you later. I'm like, why is he so likable? Stop that. And he just calls you to talk shit while he's eating. I'm like, bro, stop making me like the bad guy. Quit.
Anyway, we should wrap it up.
It's getting kind of close. This is probably going to be one of our longer episodes. So we'll go ahead and call it here. We're going to try to get you guys some kind of content.
One more episode?
On a regular weekly basis. This is what we're going to try to do. Recording tomorrow is probably hard off the table.
Yeah.
I work until 7 p.m. I have to go in a couple hours, actually. I work until 7. And then the next day, I go in at 5 a.m. till 3. And then I have got a date after work on Saturday that I'm very excited about. And so probably after the date on Sunday, or after the date Saturday, I should be good to record again if we want to do that, just to get another episode in. And then we'll schedule that for a Sunday release. And that'll work till 3 on Sunday. So I get the editing and schedule a post up and get everything ready. So look for another.
Be caught back up.
Yep, this will be the Saturday. Today is Saturday now. So look for another episode tomorrow. IGN is doing some kind of
Today is Friday.
Today is Friday. So today I look for a new episode Sunday. IGN's got a fan con thing going on, which is a very weird word for a staff meeting, if I'm going to be honest. But hey, call it what you guys want to call it. If you like IGN, you either work for IGN or you want to work for IGN. Otherwise, you're aware that IGN exists. But aside from that, we should be having some gaming news this weekend for sure. And then we will have a new episode Sunday. Until then, please be sure to go into the podcast description, check out Guire Gaming. Any Magic needs you have. They're setting up tournaments in Indiana all the time. And also do Magic sleeve singles. Sleeves is the wrong word. Magic single sales. That's probably what I meant to say. Check out all of our stuff. Our link tree is in the Our link tree is in the podcast description. That is going to be able to take you to our Facebook page, to our Twitter feed. We're going to do daily updates both on Facebook and on Twitter. That will take you to our Etsy page. We're going to put some level grinding shirts and hats and all the fun stuff up there. If you guys want to support the show, that'd be great. We're also going to put our Patreon in there. That is already in there. If you want to support us beyond just listening to the show, first of all, listening to the show is the main thing that we ask you guys to do. Just listen to the show. Check it out. Share it with your friends. I gave a shout out to April a few episodes ago, and our last episode we put out, she made her office listen to it, and I thought that was super cool. I don't know what feedback she's got from that, but she will give it to me as soon as I talk to her again, I'm sure. Love you to death. Kyle, you're like the only other person that I know listens on a regular basis that communicates with me about it. Love you, buddy. Anybody who listens to the show on a regular basis, if you want to listen beyond that, if you want to help beyond just listening, is what I mean to say, obviously. Check us out on Patreon. We have a variety of different tiers. We do everything from hey thanks to a shout out on the show on a weekly basis to as high as you can be an executive producer credited on the podcast. So if you want to help us out, that would be fantastic. The sooner that we can make this our full-time gig, the better our content and our quality is going to get for you guys. That being said, we love you to death. Make sure that you stack up on your potions. Get out there, keep on grinding.